white shirt on and a brown coat too. Everybody's joining the crew. You got just one ring that'll rule them all. Hoopy fruit, remember your towel. Get your uru hammers and your needler guns, a sonic screwdriver or a sword plus one. Use Valerian steel if it'll get you to come to the Geek Tank. To the Geek Tank. The Rocky Mountain Geek Tank.
Hi, I'm Guy.
Hi, I'm Troy.
And this is Geek Tank for the weekend of 3/27. This is AnomalyCon weekend, so if you're watching us and not being at AnomalyCon, why? Oh, you might be out of the state. No, why? Okay.
We are going to attempt to broadcast some live.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, see if we can pull that off.
We've never done it before, so it might not work, but
it might explode.
If you happen to be watching this the Friday night of AnomalyCon, be sure to check our Facebook page, and
we'll give you some, Google Hangout stuff or something. We'll figure something out. We're clever.
We're good like that. We'll figure it out.
We're clever. It's Geek and Update.
Geek and Update, which we still call Geek and Update, even though it's actually more of Troy voices over some trailers of movies. Which doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Geek and Update.
No,
we'll see. So up first, we got a movie called Zombievers.
Zombievers.
Zombievers. It says a zombie and a beaver, and you get a zombiever. It's just science.
Okay.
All right.
Would you believe that?
A fun weekend turns into madness and horror for a bunch of groupies looking for fun in a beaver-infested swamp.
What? You've got to be kidding me.
That's all they had, actually, on their little synopsis. But we watched the preview, and, I guess, over the preview, there's beavers.
Beavers?
There's young 20-year-olds.
Teenage mutant ninja beavers?
Naked and swimming in water and getting attacked by angry beavers. And apparently, if you get bit by the beavers, you turn into a werebeaver.
Their beaver.
Right there.
And if you don't know, then you're too young.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's that. That comes out March 20th, which would already be out by the time you're watching this.
Yeah.
Next movie. Sci-fi, coming out on April 10th. Ex Machina. Here we go. Caleb Smith, a programmer at an internet search giant, wins a competition to spend a week at a private mountain estate of the company's brilliant and reclusive CEO, Nathan Bateman. Bateman.
He's
bait for the man.
Bateman. Oh, there you go.
Bateman. I'm Bateman. Upon his arrival, Caleb learns that Nathan has chosen him to be the human component in a test, charging him with evaluating the capabilities and ultimately the consciousness of Nathan's latest experiment in artificial intelligence. Because
that never, ever goes wrong.
Self-aware AI robots are always the best thing ever.
They are. They never turn on their creators. Mm-hmm. They never eat them.
Never become dangerous.
Never. They just number 5 is alive and they're good.
They're all happy and everything.
Yeah.
That experiment is Ava, a breathtaking AI, more sophisticated, seductive, and more deceptive than the two men could have ever imagined. You ever see Saturn V with Farrah Fawcett images?
No. Mostly because
jumpy scenes?
Yeah, jumpy scenes.
There's a robot, and it falls in love with her and kills everybody else. The end.
So, there you go. Well, that's your Geek and Update. Now we're going to go to Abby and Comic Book of the Geek.
Well, hello there. I'm Abby, and this is Comic Book of the Geek. Today I'm going to be talking about Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return. Coming from Boom Studios, we have Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return. This follows directly after Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, their life and death adventure with their robot us's and the evil Denomalos. The triumphant return of Bill and Ted follows the time-traveling historic epic of Excellent Adventure and the turbulent life and death of Bogus Journey. Bill and Ted must now fulfill their destiny as inspiration for galactic harmony. How can someone hate the Wild Stallions as much as evil Chuck Denomalos? With the power of time travel, Bill and Ted set their sights on turning a young 27th Nomalos non-heinous attitude into something most outstanding and metal. You can find the first issue of Bill and Ted at a local comic book store near you. It's only a 6-issue miniseries, and it follows directly after Bogus Journey. So you see them with their kids and their crazy facial hair. I recently just read this issue, and it was pretty good. I mean, if you're looking for something that is Bill and Ted, you're going to find it in this. Don't expect anything really serious, because that's not what you should be expecting with Bill and Ted. I think you should go read it if you're a fan of the old movies. If you haven't seen them or weren't a fan at all, don't pick this comic up. The artwork isn't amazing, and the writing is very much Bogus Journey. Well, that's the comics for today. I'm Abby, and this has been Comic Book of the Geek.
Excellent!
I had been selected for a most important journey. I was to help fulfill the destiny of the two great ones, Bill and Ted.
Wild Stallions rule! Whenever time stands still and trouble moves too fast.
Once again, we're back.
And we are back. So you probably know that at the beginning of, about this time last month, we lost Leonard Nimoy.
It's very heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was a sad time, and especially for those of us that are and have been hardcore Trekkies. Yeah, I don't really think we need to go through his biography or anything like that. I mean, everybody pretty much knows. I mean, other than Zombies of the Stratosphere. I don't think it was his first film, but it was the first film where he was definitely an alien, which sort of set him up.
Right. Somebody saw it and went.
He's very weird looking.
Let's get him for our weird looking
We
guy.
should, yeah, we need him for our weird looking guy. He had worked on Combat with Vic Morrow, who ultimately lost his life in Twilight Zone. But really, one of the things I think mostly what he did for geekdom was make it okay to be weird.
Yeah.
And be a little weird and a little funny looking.
It was cool to know a lot of stuff because he was the science officer. He made being intelligent something that people was like, I want to be intelligent too. He's really intelligent. And instead of, you're a big nerd, so I'm going to make fun of you because it's weird to be intelligent and not cool. So he dropped that aspect of being the guy who knows stuff in science is a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the number of people who, I mean, when he died, of course, all of us put the tributes up of doing the Vulcan salute. Mm-hmm. And in the number of places where that Vulcan salute came from, I mean, it came from orbit. You know, there were pictures of astronauts up there doing the Vulcan salute. It came from the Department of Defense did a story on his passing. I mean, these are weird places to see until you think that, engineers became engineers because of Spock. There are people who became astronauts because of Spock. Buzz Aldrin, who landed on the moon, said, his passing was a sad thing because they were both spacemen together. They both made space accessible.
He was, without a doubt, an icon in
Absolutely
that way. And he brought a lot of his personal life to Star Trek and the character and his personal philosophies.
He did.
In fact, the Vulcan salute has a really interesting story to it.
Right, because the Vulcan salute, of course, is what the Kohanim, I want to say. I hate to say this, but my studies of Jewish culture are very limited, but there was the Kohanim, I guess is what they were. They were priests, and that was one of their symbols that they would use during prayers and things like that. And he had told the story that he had seen it when he was a kid. When everybody was supposed to have had their eyes closed, he looked because he was 8, and he saw that, and so he practiced being able to do that. And the funny part is that, there's generations of us that can now do this just readily, and just it's because we grew up doing it. The real thing that was amazing about Nimoy was he used his persona for the powers of good, so to speak. A year ago when he was diagnosed with COPD, he started his campaign of don't start smoking. This is what happens when you smoke.
Right.
This is what happens. And he really used that. And then, he finally passed away. It really was pretty much exactly, as he had kind of predicted it. And so the entire time he's saying, I'm dying because I'm smoking.
Right.
And I think that was a very profound thing to do.
To me, the thing that brought me to Star Trek and what I admire about it helped cross a lot of social messages. It's like, hey, here's a social thing, but we're going to disguise it as science fiction so you don't realize that we're preaching to you and teaching you really good morals.
Right, Roddenberry's Jonathan Swift rule.
Mm-hmm. And you could tell Nimoy was entirely on board with that and brought his own aspect to Spock.
Nimoy was a good man. And the thing that I think is the best thing you can ever say about someone is he made a difference in the world. He probably saved a bunch of lives, because a lot of us would have jumped off a bridge or whatever. And he's the first geek. So he lived long and he prospered.
Do you like comics and collectibles? Do you like shopping locally? Then you should come on down to Mile High Comics Littleton. They've got comics, posters, trades, statues, comics, trading cards, collectibles, comics, action figures, chess sets, and you guessed it, comics. That's Mile High Comics Littleton at 1360 West Littleton Boulevard.
Well, that's our show. Join us next month when we talk about
National Space Day. I think you're going to look at trying to explain speed in space.
That's what I'm hoping for. Could be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be at the end of April.
Yep. See you then, and happy April Fools.
You fools.
You fools.
If you did, you can help support the show by going to
Patreon.com/Geek Tank.